Oh well, hi everybody, welcome to the second episode of Bad Creepypasta Chronicles, the show where I take a look at some bad creepypastas and read them, and criticize them, and all that stuff. I'm your host, IceyPie, and let's cut right into the chase. Now, I want to turn your guys' attention to lost episode creepypastas. These are very common among the creepypasta community, and they're very, interesting. I'll say that. It's just that a lot of the lost episode pastas you find out there are either okay to what the fuck did I just read? Just think of any show that's like on the air right now or has been on the air. There's probably a lost episode of creepypasta about it. And some of them are pure gold. So let's get into some lost episodes. And in case you don't know the drill, C is for cliche stuff, so like blood and stuff like that. L is for logic errors, so any point where the main character doesn't use any kind of common sense. CH is for comprehension errors, where, it's just a problem with grammar or comprehension. And then you have G, which is for general error, which means I mean there's an error where I don't know where to put it, or there's conflicting points or what have you and stuff like that, so yeah. And before I actually get into the stories, I actually want to say this real quick. Quite a few of the stories you're going to hear on this series aren't really going to be known at all. So if you're wondering where I'm going to be getting them from, I'm getting them from Geosha's Creepypasta Wiki or Geoshia's or something. I don't know. This place is like a haven for bad creepypastas. And on the homepage right there, you can see that they have quality standards, which is great. They just never enforce them, which is why there are such masterpieces on this wiki such as Caillou Says Goodbye to Gilbert. Fucking horrifying, am I right? Like seriously, it sends a shiver down my spine. You also have SpongeBob Epsody Zero, and SpongeBob becomes a Pisco Path. Great quality control, guys. Great job. The first story is a little thing I like to call Andrea.avi, and god damn it, why? .avi stories are like the .exe stories of lost episode creepypastas. They are extremely overused, and a lot of them probably have at least one instance of hyper-realistic. So yeah, let's go. In 2001, the people who made an anime called Andrea's Adventures were coming up with various ideas for the second season, when an episode entitled Day of the Beginning of Raining Season. What? We're not even a paragraph in and already I don't understand shit. The lead animator started acting notably weird. He stopped talking to his colleagues and avoided communicating with them altogether. But he said he would work on the episode solo. This is the kind of cliche you'd seen in like so many creepypastas, like people started like acting weird and stuff. Yeah, dude, it doesn't work. 3 days later, he said the episode was finished and ready for viewing by interns. Wow, that fast? And wow, interns? When the interns actually saw the episode, they were expecting to see the normal anime they had reviewed so many times before, but they didn't get that. Looks of bewilderment crossed their faces, and then quickly turned into faces of pure horror. They began shaking and hyperventilating, and then they began screaming non-stop for over 20 minutes. What, was the door locked or something? Why didn't anybody come in to help if they were screaming for 20 minutes? When their screams were finally heard by the director, probably on his coffee break or something, he came running into the room to find every single intern lying dead on the floor, with their mouths foaming. They had blood running down the sides of their cheeks, cause of death unknown. The lead intern had something written in his blood on the wall, German text which read, "Remember what your grandfather said, don't tempt neither Satan nor nightmare." You can't just put like satanic like themes in a creepypasta and expect it to work out. It just doesn't. The remaining events of the episode are as follows in order. Oh god. Nightmare Freddy? Intro starts, but theme is played backwards. Characters are drawn hyper-realistically. Episode name doesn't appear. Andrea is seen crying next to Foxy's corpse, which is horribly mutilated. Nightmare Freddy and Nightmare Fredbear, who weren't introduced in Season 2, face off, but Nightmare suddenly begins screaming. He sounds like someone is torturing him. Nightmare Fredbear takes a knife and slits Nightmare Freddy's mouth from ear to ear before saying something which means cut in German. Katie the kitten and Bonnie the buddy are both clutching one another, looking scared. Bonnie puts on a Harlequin style mask and Katie begins humming the theme from Bagpuss. Tears running down her cheeks. The tears are green acid, and her face begins to decay as she sings. Bonnie removes the mask to reveal a snake skull underneath. The episode ends. Bonnie's snake face grins at the audience. He says blah 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 blah, meaning Nightmare is coming for you. The credits roll, all of which are in German. What is with your obsession with German? Foreign languages don't make stories scary. An out-of-tune merry-go-round is playing in the background. A hyper-realistic picture of Nightmare stares at the audience, expressionless, for 3 minutes before cutting to a black screen. Yeah, I have lost several brain cells reading that. Yeah. This isn't all of what happened in the episode, only fragments which remain. The actual episode is too dangerous to even think about. The man who made the episode was put into a mental asylum, and what was left of the episode was stored in a vault. However, it was rediscovered online and under the title Andrea.avi. If you find it, don't watch it unless you feel depressed, because this is the video to make you kill yourself. Okay. Word of advice if you're writing a creepypasta, never end like that. Like, dude, you are literally encouraging people to kill themselves if they feel depressed and they watch the video. Yeah. Let's tally this up. Alright, on to the next steaming pile of crap. Now, some of you know this, some of you don't, but my favorite show is South Park. You know, that controversial show that everybody seems to get angry at.
You need to smack her in the face and say that's enough of your shit, you fucking bitch!
Have you ever heard of the Comedy Central classic South Park? With all the great seasons and funniest episodes? Well, I heard there was an unreleased one, which was disturbing by the reason of the characters acting oddly and the music sounded different. I'll tell you all about it. So what, you're not gonna tell us how, like, you got the episode? Not even, like, if you got in the mail or something, or if you were an intern at Comedy Central? Oh god, please, no. The episode started with Eric Cartman crying in the corner of his classroom at night. It was disturbingly odd because his time at school is usually at daytime. His crying sounded more human-like, and the part of the episode took 4 minutes. After that, it cut to the scene where Butters and Stan were staring out a window. They were so worried about Cartman. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. Anybody who has watched South Park will know that the main cast doesn't even like Cartman. Cartman is an asshole. There's literally an episode called Cartman Sucks. Butters asked Stan where he is, and Stan said he might be at school, so he and Butters went to look for him along with Kyle, Kenny, and Jimmy. As they eventually arrive at South Park Elementary, they are stopped by a familiar figure. It was Gregory, the guy who was forgotten by Stan's dream girl, Wendy. You guys know Gregory, right? He was the guy with the 4.0 grade point average in the South Park movie. Gregory took out the blade of his knife, but his voice sounded more adult-like and not like a cartoon character at all. He went to stab Kenny on the back, causing blood to flow all over South Park. How much blood does Kenny have? Kyle shouted.
Oh my god! They killed Kenny! You bastard!
So in the earlier seasons of South Park, they had this gag where Kenny would die every episode in unexplained ways, and it was honestly kind of funny. And they did kind of stop doing that now, but still, why? Why would you put Kenny dying in your creepypasta and say, oh my god, they killed Kenny, you bastards? It doesn't make the story scary. The fight with Gregory went on for about 7 minutes, which means I realized the episode took about 40 minutes. I knew that most episodes took about 22 minutes, but this one took longer. And the weird thing is, Gregory was actually succeeding in killing Stan, Jimmy, Butters, and Kyle made it inside the school to look for Cartman. Right after the kids went to look for Cartman, the episode went to static, and I found hidden images. The first one was about a plague doctor. Oh, so the guys in the bird masks? Those were always frightful to me for some reason. Then the next hidden image was that of a dead child on the road. Oh my god. Another word of advice when writing a creepypasta. Please, please, for the love of God, do not describe dead children in graphic detail. It doesn't make it spooky, it doesn't make it edgy, it's just horrible. Then, it went back to the episode as it ended. They saw Cartman hanging on a rope. This meant Cartman committed suicide. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. The screen faded to black. I could not believe what I just saw. A day later, I got a message from an unknown person. The message said, "He comes." Oh yeah. I suddenly knew who this message was from. Zalgo. Okay. Okay, so, what did we learn throughout this whole experience? Well, nothing, but I guess we did learn that a lot of the Lost episode creepypastas out there are extremely, repetitive, I guess? Yeah, the thing about Lost episodes is that you always see a ton of .avis and .mp4s and freaking hyper-realistic blood, and it doesn't really need to be. And what I've learned is that a lot of creepypasta writers, especially up-and-coming creepypasta writers, really go off of what they were inspired by. So these are creepypastas such as Dead Bard and Squidward Suicide and Sonic.exe, which, by the way, were creepypastas that were all like, "Oh yes, blood and gore, hyper-realistic blood, dead people are everywhere." And then you have the creepypastas with like the absolute worst fan bases possible. So, we're talking about, Eyeless Jack, Laughing Jack, fucking Sally Play With Me. Again, I hate that one. And, worst of all, Jeff the Killer. I do plan to go over those creepypastas in depth at some point soon. However, for now, I'm done. I am going to end the video. This is the second episode of Bad Creepypasta Chronicles. You guys, I really liked the last one, so I'm just gonna end this one here, I guess. I should really work on scripts for my videos. So with all of that being said, thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to IceyPie, which is me, and I'll see you all in the next video. See ya!